APU broke again. Man, that's loud. So let's see. And yeah, it was all wet down there. I think the water pump went out again. Well, we're in Jackson, Mississippi today. I didn't want to be way back there. Yeah. So, I'm going to pop this cover off and see if this is something I can fix, or do we got to do some warranty work, because if the water pump is bad, it's brand new, so I'll put it, it's under warranty, so I'll get it fixed. So we got them all loose. These two, this one here and this one here, are slotted, so it'll lift right out. Got to take these on the corner out. So let's lift this thing up and see what we're looking at. Nothing glares out so far. So what I think I'm looking at is just a bad hose. I don't have a hose. Let's see if we can readjust this. I think it's this right here. Look, it's a little wet under there, and all the dripping seems to be right here under it. It'll get pretty wet, and it comes down this side too. So let's I have the water valves turned off, so let me pop the hood, turn the water valves on. I'm going to clean this up and then turn the power on, and we'll fire this thing up and see if it leaks. The thing I am going to do is clean it all up. I got some of this brake parts cleaner. I'll just give it a good quick bath, and I got another can inside the truck, so we'll give it a good quick bath and let it dry, and then we'll fire it up and see what happens. Wapow! We'll just clean it all up here. I'm just about out of this stuff. More! So, I've got the hood open. Let me show you what we're doing. The APU has some shut-off valves here. So I'll turn this one on, and right here, and I will turn this one on. Oh, that's hot. Oh, right here. So they're on. Now my plan is to actually use the truck's water pump to force water through there and create more pressure. It's not really wanting to leak on its own, but if I can create some pressure with the actual truck, we should see some leaking through there. Now I talked to the mechanic. He said it was all right to use as long as I was parked, but he said if you're gonna drive, he said make sure you shut those off. So let's get the truck fired up and see what happens. All right, let's make sure this is loose. Fire the truck up. Oh, come on. There we go. And hey, all right. Hello, old friend. So what we're going to do is just let it run for a little while, build up a little bit of heat, and we'll see if there's any leaks that happen here. So let's give it a little bit. Sneak over here and bump up the idle. The temperature is starting to go up, which means the thermostat's opening, so it should start circulating water here soon, and hopefully we'll see a leak. Make sure we shut that. We're in Jackson after all. I think I'm going to force this. I'm going to turn the truck off and then turn the APU on. So I'm going to turn the power switch on. This right here. Oh, just shut this off. Oh, that was a mess. Pardon my messy bunk. Turn that on. Turn that on all the way cold. Ooh, let's get out. I can hear it starting. Oh, there we go. Oh, come on, you. The anticipation's killing me. You can kind of hear it start. I'm gonna have to edit some stuff out of this, I guess. This thing sounds like hammered crap until it's warmed up, and then it just sounds like crap. So give me a few minutes and I'll just wait for this thing to warm up. Once the thermostat opens, we'll be able to see what's going on. So while I'm waiting for that to heat up, and the reefer's running right now, I have it on cycle, and I don't even know how hot it is out here. It says it's 87, but it's 87 parked. It's a little cooler if I was over there. But a friend of mine calls me up the other day and says, just on a lark, I got this offer to be a lease driver, to drive a guy's truck. Now, a private guy owns the truck. And I said, I'm going to tell you right now to run, but tell me the story. And as the story unfolded, it got worse and worse. I mean, it gets bad and it gets worse. And I'll let you draw your own conclusions. So, let's get on with the story. So, she says the guy's offering her lease purchase this truck. New engine, new transmission. So, alright. Said, it's a 2013 Freightliner. So what? Wait a minute, it gets better. So alright, just got new engine, new transmission. Says he's going to give me X amount of dollars, which was already a red flag. And because I did a quick math in my head and realized that no, when all was said and done, she'd be working for about 16 to 18 of the total gross. As a company driver, driving for him. Now, he was going to say she was an employee, but pay her off at 1099, which is getting a lot of people in trouble lately. A lot of trouble. So that's like red flag number 7 at this point. So I was like, wait a minute. Well, what's he going to pay you as a lease operator? Lease to purchase. For like 2 years, I think. It was like either a 2 or 3 year lease. No, it was a 3-year lease. And, oh, it was bad. Well, my friend comes back with the number. And on the surface, the percentage is low as a lease purchase, but it's low for a couple of different reasons I'm not going to get into, but it was on the low side of fair, I guess, if you really wanted. It looks good on paper, but once you really start doing the this and taking your numbers out, you realize that you're going to knock about another 5 to 7% off it. So I said, well, what's he going to charge you a week to lease that truck? He said, well, he's talking between $900 and $1,100 a week. I said, stop. Stop right there. $900 to $1,100 a week for a 2013 Freightliner? Well, it's got a new engine and transmission. It's a 2013 Freightliner. But it's got a new, I said, stop. I've said this before a million times. You can do $5,000 worth of work to a $500 car. It's still just a $500 car. That's it. It's a 2013 Freightliner. I said you can pick these things up for $30,000 all day long still. Nobody wants them. They're throwaway trucks. And you're talking about a truck that's 10 years old. It doesn't matter what he's done to it at this point. It's worth literally nothing. And it took me a while to drive that point home. Part of what's been bothering me lately, is that I'm running into deals like this a lot and a lot more. I'll guarantee you this guy got upside down in his truck by putting an engine and transmission in a truck he never should have entertained putting an engine and transmission into. If you couldn't do it both for $10,000, with a used engine, new transmission, he should have just punted the truck and been fine. That's what he should have done. But I heard the sob story about how he bought somebody's lease out and blah, 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 blah. I don't care about all that. Being a good guy gets you nowhere in this business. He should have cut his losses. But instead, the greedy SOB is going to put a driver in it and try to make the driver pay for all the repairs that weren't their problem. Do the math. $1,000 a week for 3 years on a truck that's worth $35,000 tops. There's 52 weeks in a year. The dude's screwing you. And I've been running into things like this a lot lately. This is why I tell everybody, if the deal's too good to be true, it is. Don't drive for individuals who own one truck. Unless you really know the guy, and I say don't drive for him unless you want to maintain your friendship. Deals like this will kill friendships. They kill business deals. They hurt a lot of people. Just, if you got somebody that wants to hire a driver, this is how I started. I'll tell you that story. My first trucking job was through a gal I know who knew a dude who had a friend who needed to put a driver in a truck. The problem was the driver in the truck didn't belong to this guy. They just wanted to lease it on and haul grain around. The owner of the truck lived in Kansas City. Thought he could put it on with a grain hauling company, make a little bit of money. I don't know how he found these guys. I think he thought he could go out and find some local yokels who would that I think he could get over on. Trust me, you don't get over on farmers who own trucking companies. No. You might get over once, but they get their money back. So I started driving for him, and it was awful. Truthfully, I never got any tax paperwork from him. I never got a fuel card from him. I went broke. I went flat broke. But I was young, I was green, and this wasn't a lease. I was just working on a percentage. And it was awful. He made no money. The truck got repossessed while I was home one weekend. The guys just showed up and took it, and suddenly I was out of a job. If you're going to go to work for someone, make sure that they have the reputation, make sure that they have the equipment, and make sure that they have the wherewithal to pay you. And deals like this, paying she said it was between $900 to $1,100 a week for a 10-year-old truck. That don't walk away from that. Run as far. Lose the contact. If it's on a piece of paper, the phone number, burn it. I mean, throw your phone away. Don't ever do this. It's horrible. And hopefully I talk this individual out of this, because it's a bad deal. It's a horribly bad deal. Just one more shyster looking to screw somebody because he's upside down in a truck. This is why it's so important to ask questions. Don't let this happen to you. So, that's the worst lease story yet so far. I've heard some bad ones, but this one's actually, I couldn't believe that someone had the cojones to even, they must have thought everybody around them was stupid. Well, they must have, because I talked somebody out of the job. So, let's get back to the APU. I can smell it. Ooh-wee. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours. Let's go check. Alright, let's take a look. Don't really see anything. Well, I don't see anything, but I guess I'll have to just let it run overnight. But from what I can see so far, and the splash pattern and all that, I actually think it was just coming out of that upper radiator hose. But I'll take it to the mechanic and he'll go through it. We'll just have to see what it looks like in the morning. I'm not going to make y'all wait for that, but that's kind of just troubleshooting the APU. The APU's been I've had a real love-hate relationship with it, and you know, I don't even know what to make of it at this point, because it's been just an incredible pain. I like what it does, but it's been a maintenance nightmare. And had I bought a brand new one, I'd probably still be in the same boat. Part of why I went and put a used one on is because I'm really going to try to get a new truck in the spring. Prices are starting to go down. Hopefully, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll find something I like. But aside from that, I mean, new APUs, I've talked to guys that have new ones and used ones, as it seems like they're just cheaply built. It doesn't matter what you get, whether it's a Carrier, Thermo King, Rigmaster. Some of them work, some of them don't. I've had guys with brand new APUs that just can't keep them running. I have seen guys buy a used APU and it never breaks. So I can't tell you. But it is what it is. I like having the AC. I'm glad I don't have to idle a truck. But hopefully we can get this all squared away when I get back up to a shop. But until then, if I'm going to be sitting like this, I'm going to have to pop the hood, turn the valves. Just sitting overnight is not going to be that big of a deal. I do turn it on just because I got the bunk heater and it is getting cold out, but it drops below a certain degrees, I'm going to idle the truck anyway. So it is what it is. And if I stay down here, it's not going to get that cold at night. I go back to Sioux Falls, it's going to be a completely different story. So anyhow, well, I hope you liked this video. It's just kind of a fun one, show you what I'm dealing with the APU, the trouble I've been having with it. But and that horrible lease story. Guys, watch yourselves. Please be careful, and basically do the math and test everything. If it's too good to be true, it is. Guys like this are all over, and I've seen this particular thing happen with leases more often than not. The way this lease was laid out, it'd be cheaper to lease a truck through Prime or Swift than it would be to do what this person was doing. So that's a little food for thought. And at least with Prime and Swift, you get a brand new truck. This is a 10-year-old truck they're trying to screw this friend of mine over on. Thankfully, they didn't take the bait. I better call them. Sometimes I wonder about them. But anyhow, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has been fun. It just, we've been having trouble with the APU and other things, so just thought I'd share my day. So I appreciate it. See you next video.